Hello. If you don't know me, I am Lily Lyon. I'm a Brazilian-American singer-songwriter. This content is a little bit different from my usual content. I want to talk to you guys about my experience with raw artists. I did several raw shows as an artist, and I also worked for them for a period of time. First off, if you don't know what raw is, it's an international arts organization. Their mission is to support local artists, and the main way that they do this is probably through their showcases, which they've been doing for like over 10 years. These showcases feature several creative categories. I forgot how many. I'm going to tell you guys about the musician perspective because that's how I participated. But they have gallery artists, fashion designers, and just a bunch of people representing the local creatives, and it's really cool. Getting right into the grit of it. Raw is a pay-to-play show, as in you have to sell tickets, and if you don't, you have to pay the difference to participate. But out of all the pay-to-play shows out there, they are my favorite, and here's why. One, some of the main reason that musicians play out, right, is to grow our audience, get in front of new people. If you're just going to play at a local bar and you're going to play in front of your friends who already know your music, it doesn't help you grow a lot. Like, it's nice and it's good experience, but if there's not a few new people watching you play, then you're not growing. And that's where I think Raw just kind of beats all the other shows. If you play your typical show with like 3 other bands, even if everyone actually sells all 20 other tickets to real human beings who show up, at best, if everyone's there for everyone's set, which is a lot of unlikely things, you're going to be playing in front of like maximum 80 people. But with Raw shows, since they have several artists in the show, the attendees, and I can vouch for this as like having worked there and actually seeing like how many people check in, they have hundreds of attendees, even more than I've been at shows with more than 1,000 easily. This is because there's an entire gallery of artists, fashion designers, several musicians, and for the just sheer size of the thing, if you add it up and everyone's selling 20 tickets, it's going to be a lot of people. Also, perks that I'll get into. So the second best perk that I loved was the touring show, where you didn't have to sell tickets for that second show. Every time you did one, it was like a buy one, get one. And I say buy one, but like if you successfully promote, you obviously don't have to spend any money. You can even make money if you sell more tickets. But you got to do a show in a different city. So I played LA shows, New York shows, and I also played in Mexico City. And that was really sick. That was because of the size of the international market for Raw. Now, I'm mentioning this, I don't know if that's how they still do it. Like, I don't work for Raw anymore since the pandemic, and they completely changed their system. It's now local people running their Raw showcases. So I don't know if they're still at tour incentive, but I figured it was worth mentioning because that was like my favorite perk. Another incredible perk that I'm pretty sure they still have, if I'm not wrong, is that they hire professional photographers and you get photos of your performance and even a few headshots. And that is all really expensive on its own. Even if we weren't doing headshots, if I just hired a photographer for a show, that could be a couple $100. And even if I split that with the other bands, you have to pay your musicians and sell enough tickets at the door to like really make all that money and break even is hard. So there's just like one less expense off your back, and you have like proof of this beautiful big show you did. So if any of you are curious, what I did for Raw was when I first started, I was a curation specialist. So I was reaching out to talented people in different cities and just being like, yo, you want to do the show? And then I moved up into a showcase director position. So I directed several showcases. And yeah, and then the pandemic hit. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I want to experiment with content where I am sharing my experience with different companies that provide services to artists, and I'm happy to do more of these, but I figured Raw was the perfect one to start with because I know the most about them. And so yeah, ask me if you want me to make more of this and if you have a specific request. I've worked with different PR companies, I've worked with different online music distributors, and yeah, I also have a degree in the corner over there in music business. So I don't know everything, but I'm happy to give whatever advice I can. And last but not least, I'm releasing a song this Friday, November 18th. case you're watching this after Friday, November 18th, then it's already out. It's called Jabuchikaba, and I would love it if you guys subscribed and pre-saved or saved the song in your Spotify, Apple Music. It'll be everywhere.